Welcome to day 97 of 100 Days of Drum Journeys. Yeah. Coming down to the wire. I'm so glad I started this journey. I had no conceptions, ideas, projections, plans on where it was going to take me. Sometimes it's just about being willing to embark on a journey, you know? Yeah. And I love open itineraries, you know? I've learned in these last 7 years what it's like to fly someplace with a one-way ticket, and I've never been there before. Hello, thanks for joining. And I've never been there before, and I don't know when I'm going to leave. And do you know, in 2019, when I was buying the ticket to go to India, I was like, what? No return? I don't have an itinerary. I just know where I'm going to go to start, and that's it. And then have to build from that, like where I'm going to stay, what I'm going to do, what was my purpose. Hi, thanks for joining. He loves us all. Christ consciousness loves us all. So, yeah, in these 7-8 years now, I love just going on the journey and seeing where it takes me, and not planning every single last detail, not needing to be in control of all of it, convincing myself that having control over an itinerary was going to make things turn out okay. You know, that life wouldn't just happen, you know. In Malaysia, when I was traveling by bus from Singapore to Malaysia, at the border, I took so long not knowing what the system was, because, you know, coming into a country via the bus versus coming into the country via a plane is a whole different type of energy. There's a whole level of privilege and catering to at an airport that you won't find at a bus terminal. And so I was in a place too that it wasn't very common to know someone who could speak English. I mean, actually speak English. I'm not talking about listening to you politely and really showing that they care and they would really love to help. But in the end of the day, they really don't understand what you want. But they're going to smile at you and they're going to encourage you. And I found a lot of nice Malaysian and Singaporean people right there on that border who would have loved to have helped me if they had understood. And so in taking too long to understand what the system was, everybody had passed through on the bus and the bus driver left. So I came out, because I had my you know, because you have to pass through with your bags. So the bus driver had no obligation, and apparently I turned out that if I had booked on a tour, then all passengers need to be accounted for, so the tour bus wouldn't have left me. But I just traveled to Malaysia on a bus because I wanted to see the land, right? And all the best planning in the world, if you don't take into account the end of Ramadan, then you don't take into account how much people travel at the end of Ramadan or during the course of Ramadan to see, to reunite with their family, and that for a lot of people that is accessible by bus, that isn't accessible to them by plane. And yeah, and you're traveling on a Sunday, the day after the end of Ramadan, and everybody is returning to Kuala Lumpur from different places in Malaysia. And so the bus trip that was supposed to take maybe 4 hours ended up taking 10 hours. You know? Yeah, there were lots of things that happened on the way. You know, not deciding to book, to firm up. I couldn't decide. I was flustered to make a decision. Nothing was being very clearly directed at me to book. And I didn't book a hotel. And wouldn't you know, that weekend there were like 3 sporting events happening in Houston. There was the Black Cowboy Convention, and then there was a regular rodeo cowboy convention. Then there was a baseball series or something like that. How would I have known that I should have booked much earlier than waiting to get to the airport and just assuming that I would get a hotel room? And find myself sleeping under the escalators. It was a place, a location within Houston Airport that I found that was quiet enough, a little bit muted enough with lights. Thank heavens I travel with my eye mask now so that I'm able to block all of that out. But yeah, some really, you know, very unplanned things happened on my way to Malaysia to visit my friend. And learning how to be able to deal with the unplanned, the undesired, is really a huge part of the human journey. Just learning how not to lose your shit when the most inconvenient things happen is a huge part of emotional maturation for a human being. Oh, and the training never stops. You just get more connected of going, oh, okay. This is some of the stuff that happens in life. How will I meet this moment, this challenge? Am I going to lose my shit? That will solve absolutely nothing. That I've done in the past, a number of times. I've found that people really don't want to help you. And it's not even a matter of manipulating people into helping you by pretending to be nice and pretending to be calm. It's going beyond that. It means going beyond survival strategies. Because manipulation is a survival strategy. It's actually, can I meet the tension of this moment, feel it in my body, be honest that it's there, and allow it to pierce me, to enter this unpleasantness, this unpleasant current reality. Can I lean into it? How much can I lean in it? How much anxiety can I lean into? Can I accept? Not fight against. And when can I recognize that my body is going into, my system, my nervous system is going into overwhelm? And how can I soothe it and back off? And go, okay, I'm about to overshoot my goal. I'm going to completely miss it if I try to rush this. How can I slow it down? And know that everything is working out, all the details are working out perfectly. And they're all synchronized with me slowing down. Me slowing down. Feeling, pausing, surrendering, trusting that everything is working out for me. Even this training, even the spiritual warfare going on right now between the human and the spirit, between the divine and matter, between time and space. So this is what processing for me looks like. It's a combination of having the space to speak, to remember, to feel into the body sensations of what was happening in the body at the moment that I'm talking about, that I'm bringing up. It's giving my body and my nervous system the time to process the memory and the energy of that event that's still active and alive in my system, that speaking and breathing and allowing sound to move through me and allowing my hands to find the places, the pressure points to hold as I am processing and allowing it to move through in the time that it needs to. This is something that I've been taught, I've been shown by my body and by my own intuition and guidance of what is effective for me in processing information that's coming to us constantly. And being able to convert all of that information into resilience, into composure. And yeah, there was a little bit of frantic. I mean, I'm talking about a little bit of frantic in comparison to the old days of frantic at the Malaysian-Singapore border, with not being able to get anybody, very few people, to understand what was going on. Me to understand that my bus has actually left me. And I've only actually been on about 30 minutes of the 4-hour journey left at the border. with a card that they don't take cards. You need cash. I didn't have any Singaporean cash. I didn't have any Malaysian cash. But you know, I was able to speak to a driver, and a driver accept cash from the Cayman Islands that I assured him that was of more value than the US, right? And he took that cash, I think it was like maybe 10 CI dollars. That was way more than he was probably getting paid that whole day to drive in order to get another bus to go to Kuala Lumpur, and actually the bus station where I wanted to go, because there were a choice of 2 different ones, and my friend, she recommended one specific one. I didn't have a SIM card, so I couldn't send a message. I didn't have any internet, so I couldn't send a message to my friend that instead of arriving around 5 o'clock in the afternoon, it was going to be more like 10 o'clock at night. So I had to navigate that when we made our rest stop. And guess what? The traffic was chock-a-block, as we would say in the Caribbean. Like that. Very little bit of movement in between. Some, but very little. Most of it just creeping along. And was able to communicate to that bus driver enough for them to loan me their hotspot so that I could have internet. I think you want, instead of TF, Colby Scott, I think it's WTF you might want, is this. Not TF is this. Give me the whole WTF is this, Colby Scott. Because if that's all you got to share in the world, I'm really sorry for you. I'm sorry for your small, pathetic little life that you didn't pick up and decide to create a gem of it. And so you have to come here to try to shit on my joy. I feel sorry for you, Colby Scott. You can do something about that. You can create a better life for yourself. That you don't have to go and shit on other people's in order to feel better about your little life. Colby Scott. So all of these things surmounted, and I met someone, the bus driver didn't have enough credit to give me a hotspot, but it was another passenger who asked me where I was from, who had working knowledge of English enough to ask me where I was from and seemed to know where the Caribbean was and make a little connection and get enough internet to be able to send off that message to her. And then it was just ride and accept. It was all ride and accept. To me, that's the greatest reward of a spiritual journey, is being able to navigate this human life better. Because I used to get wigged out. You know, road rage, slamming steering wheels and all kinds of stuff, because I would just lose my shit. I had so much stored, unacknowledged information in my system that just overwhelmed me. And what has evolved over the last 8 years is a concentration on my own life, really making my own life a masterclass, really taking it in that it's possible that I don't have to be thrown around by the whims of my emotions or my mind. That wasn't my friend. I thought my mind was my friend, but my mind wasn't my friend. My mind was out to fuck with me. And was I willing to take the challenge of that? When my time finally arrived, And maybe the sense of urgency of being 55 when this journey started, I'm sure it had a lot to do with it. Because it was like, if not now, when the fuck am I going to do this? When the fuck am I going to live this life of thriving? Ignite within myself what moves my heart, live from that. When exactly am I going to do that? What am I waiting for? My body is only going to age more, right? We're not going in reverse. I'm not getting more youthful, right? So, here I am on day 97 of 100 days of drum journeys. And I'm just so grateful that I started the journey, that I decided to start with day 1 and come back for day 2, come back for day 3, even when the thoughts said, what are you doing? What are you trying to prove? Come on, this isn't important. This isn't gonna do anything. What is this gonna do? What is this gonna accomplish? There's a war going on. There's genocide going on. There's a lack of humanity going on at a time that maybe other generations have seen this. But for me, it feels like I'm just waking up to it. And I know it was always going on before. With all that going on, what's 100 days of drum journey going to prove? And what the spirit, what the intuition within me, what spirit within me has told me, that each one of us has our part to play. And listening to what is our part to play is the most important thing. Not copying anybody else's. And all of that energetically counts. It all counts in the collective. So this 100 days of drum journeys is me just listening to my part, just going with my part, you know, following what my intuition guides me in this life. And I encourage you to listen to yourself and what is yours and what you came here to express. And hopefully to commit not to leave with your song still in you. Sing your song. The other day I walked around and collected flowers. Yes. I have found tiny flowers and all sorts of flowers I've never seen before. Yeah. Isn't that beautiful? Just to being on the flower discovery journey. Yes. 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 I am graced. I have allowed myself, I have blessed myself with a life where I slow down to pick flowers, to notice the different shapes and the smells of them. I choose that life every day. That's the life that I've been choosing for the last 8 years. And I've been so blessed by that life of slowing down. And so now just a little bit of sound to ease us out. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing with me. joining to day 97 of 100 days of live drum journeys on YouTube.